Hello viewers, welcome to EduTube, your school support educational channel where you can learn and relearn everything. In this channel, 50 Commandments in English Language, we dive deep into the essential rules and tips to improve your English proficiency. Whether you are a student, a teacher, or just a native or non-native speaker looking to refine your English skills and proficiency and comprehensively understand the grammatical technicalities of the language, you are in the right place. Before we delve into today's lesson, we ask that you please encourage us to do more of these lessons and more of these videos by clicking on the subscription button below this video to get notified of more academic lessons like this. And if you are a returning viewer, we also ask you, if you are a returning viewer who has yet to subscribe to the channel, we also ask you to encourage us by clicking on the subscription button below the video to get notified of more academic lessons like this. And if you are a returning viewer who has already subscribed to our channel, we say a big thank you for your love and support. I will see you in a moment. Welcome back. So in our previous lesson, we stopped at commandment number 15, where we exhaustively discussed about pluralia tantoms, which are a category of nouns that appear with an S at the end, making them look like a plural, and their commandments about them, about not giving them a plural verb. So today we are going to introduce 3 more commandments because of their relatedness. We are introducing commandments 16, 17, and 18. So without wasting any time further, let's delve straight into the lesson for today. So what does commandment number 16 say? Commandment number 16 says that each must have a singular noun in front of it and also a singular verb. Each is an indefinite pronoun. We've also talked about indefinite pronouns in some of our previous commandments, some of our previous lessons in the earlier commandment, okay? So, but then, this is another distinct commandment about each. So, each must have a singular noun and a singular verb. Each must have a singular noun and a singular verb. Okay, so we already know what a singular noun is and what a singular verb is and how to form them. So let's go straight to some examples that we have on the commandment, okay? The first example we have says that each car in the lot is inspected thoroughly before sale. Each is an indefinite pronoun, so car is a noun. So each car in the lot is inspected thoroughly before sale. So you could see that car there is a noun and it is not pluralized. So that conforms to the commandment number 16, which says that each must have a singular noun in front of it and a singular verb. So car is a singular noun and the verb that it carries is is. So is also a singular verb or a singular form of are. So each car in the lot is inspected thoroughly before sale. It would be wrong to say each cars in the lot or each car in the lot are inspected. That is wrong. Are is a plural, so it is wrong to be used after each car. So the right thing we use is. So each car in the lot is inspected thoroughly before sale. Example number 2. Example number 2 says that each book on the shelf belongs to the library. Now, in this regard, we are using a verb, a lexical verb. The former one is a primary verb to be, a verb to be. So in this regard, we are now using a lexical verb. So each book for more clarity. So each book on the shelf belongs to the library. So each book is a singular noun. So each book, and then the verb is taken, or the verb we use there is belong, and in a singular sense. So each book on the shelf belongs to the library. It would be wrong to say each book on the shelf belong to the library, because in actual sense, each book means each of the books. Each of the books, that means one book on the shelf belongs to the library. So each book on the shelf belongs to the library. And then we have third example, which says that each applicant is required to fill out the forms completely. Each applicant is required to fill out the forms completely. So each applicant, that means each of the applicants, so each with applicant coming after it, making it a singular. So applicant singular without s. So each applicant, then the verb is a singular verb. So that each applicant is required to fill out the form completely. So that's the right thing to say. Not each applicant are required. So are required is a wrong, bad English to use when in the case where we have each and a singular noun. So each applicant is required to fill out the form completely. So that is that about commandment 16. And then commandment 17 is so related to commandment 16. Commandment 17, we are addressing two contexts. We are addressing two matters, okay, two subject matters here. It says that commandment 17 says that each of and one of must have a plural noun and a singular verb. Each of and one of must have a plural noun and a singular verb. Now that is slightly related to commandment number 16. Commandment number 16 says each must have a singular noun and a singular verb. That means whenever you make use of each, you must put a singular noun after it and a singular verb after it. But in this commandment 17, it says that each of, there's an addition of, of. So each of must have a plural noun and a singular verb. So how is it similar to commandment number 16? It's similar to commandment number 16 because in both we are meant to use a singular verb, but their discrepancy is that in each we must use a singular noun, whereas in each of and one of we must use a plural noun. So each first example says that each of the cars, not each of the car. Each of the cars, not each of the cars, not each of the car. So each of the cars in the lot has been inspected. You can see has is a singular verb and then cars is a plural noun. So each of the cars. So if we remove of, it's going to become each car and not each cars anymore, as said or as stated by commandment number 16. So each of the cars, plural, in the lot has, singular, has been inspected. Each of the cars in the lot has been inspected. Example number 2 says that each of the books. So each of the books, because of each of, we must have a plural noun, which is books, plural. Each of the books on the shelf belongs. Belongs is a singular verb. So each of the books on the shelf belongs to the library. That's a plural noun and a singular verb. A plural noun, books, and a singular verb, belongs. So each of the books on the shelf belongs to the library. And the third example says that one of the pupils has paid for the excursion. One of the pupils has paid for the excursion. One of the pupils. That means a group of pupils or one of them. So one of the pupils. So pupils, plural noun, and then the verb that comes after it, has, is a singular verb. So it's a plural noun and a singular verb. So one of the pupils has paid for the excursion. It would be wrong to say one of the pupils have paid. That's a wrong, bad English. Regardless of the pupils being plural, we must make sure to avoid the error of making our verb to be plural. So one of the pupils has paid for the excursion, not one of the pupils have paid for the excursion. And then example number 4 says that one of the men on the site is a foreman. One of the men on the site is a foreman. One of the men. Men is a plural noun, and then is a singular verb. So one of the men on the site is a foreman. So that conforms to the commandment number 17 that says that each of and one of must take a plural noun and a singular verb. So that is that about commandment number 17. Now let's go straight to commandment number 18. Now commandment number 18 is also related to both 16 and 17. So what does commandment number 18 say? Commandment number 18 says that some of must have a plural noun and a plural verb. Now this is entirely a distinct version of commandment 16 and 17. Entirely distinct version of commandment 16 and 17. Okay, there is no any similarity in the context. Okay, so some of must have a plural noun and a plural verb. Okay, so that means whenever we make use of some of, a plural noun must follow and a plural verb must follow. Unlike commandment 17, where we only have a plural noun and a singular verb. And unlike commandment number 16, wherein we have a singular noun and a singular verb. So in this case of commandment number 18, some of must have a plural noun and a plural verb. So let's see the examples that we have. So the examples we have number 1, example 1 says that some of the men are weaklings. Some of the men are weaklings. Okay, so some of the men are weaklings. So men is a plural, are is a plural. So that's a plural noun and a plural verb. Some of the men are weaklings. And then another example says that some of the books on the shelf belong to me, without s. Without s, belong to me, because the moment you add an s to it, it becomes a singular verb. Okay, so some of the books on the shelf belong to me. Some of the books on the shelf, books plural, belong, plural verb. So some of the books on the shelf belong to me. If you are new to this channel and you're confused of how to know a plural noun and a plural verb, a singular noun and a singular verb, we have discussed them extensively in all our previous lessons. Especially for how to know a plural verb, you can refer back to our first commandment and second commandment, where we exhaustively discussed about how to know a plural and a singular verb. At the end of this video, you will see an end screen at the top, maybe left or right. Click on it and it will take you to all of our previous videos. That is, if you are new to this channel. Okay, so if this is your first video that you are watching on this series. Okay, so some of the books on the shelf belong to the men. So books is a plural noun, while belong is a plural verb. So that is that about commandment number 18. However, there are exceptions. There is an exception to commandment number 18. What is the exception? The exception is that, remember, we've talked about abstract nouns and uncountable nouns. Whenever an uncountable noun is used after some of, the verb that must follow must be a singular verb, and that buttresses the commandment that talked about abstract and uncountable nouns. Let's give some examples to elucidate that. So example 1 says that some of the furniture is an uncountable noun. You can't count it in unit. Okay, so you could refer back to our previous videos, just some of the most recent videos about it, you'll see. So you see where we've talked about abstract noun and uncountable noun. Okay, so some of the furniture in the room is bad. Furniture is an uncountable noun, so it must receive a singular verb regardless of some of. So some of the furniture in the room is bad. Not some of the furniture in the room are bad. That's a bad English. Okay, some of the furniture in the room is bad. Not some of the furniture in the room are bad. Okay, and then another example is some of the information she gave was inaccurate. Some of the information is an uncountable noun, and it must take a singular verb. So, and that is why we have was there. Was is a singular verb, a singular verb to be was. Okay, it is the past tense of is. Some of the information she gave was inaccurate. So that is the exception regarding commandment number 18. I hope you've learned something, and I hope that you are going to put them into practice. If you are new to this channel, please kindly click on the subscription button below this video to encourage us and motivate us to do more of this, to continue to do this. And if you are a returning subscriber and you have already subscribed to our channel, we say thank you for your love and support. We'll see you in the next lesson.